Also tonight, President Obama laid out the largest gun control plan in decades. It includes mandatory background checks for all gun buyers and a ban on assault-style weapons. 10 on your side, Stephanie Harris looked further into the president's proposal and called your local congressman to find out where they stand. Stephanie?
Nicole, first of all, the president admits this will be an uphill battle in Congress, but there are some things he can and did do this afternoon without their consent.
Surrounded by children who wrote him letters after last month's massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary, President Obama signed 23 executive orders aimed at reducing gun violence.
All right, there we go.
These orders, which do not require congressional approval, expand school safety programs and increase access to mental health services. The rest of what he wants to accomplish will not be so easy.
This will be difficult. There will be pundits and politicians and special interest lobbyists publicly warning of a tyrannical, all-out assault on liberty.
In defense of what some will call an attack on the Second Amendment, the president pointed to Oak Creek, Wisconsin, where Sikhs were denied the right to worship freely, to Oregon, where shoppers were denied the right to assemble peacefully, and to Virginia Tech and Newtown, Connecticut, where dozens were denied the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
If there's even one thing we can do to reduce this violence, if there's even one life that can be saved, then we've got an obligation to try.
His call to Congress: restore a ban on assault-style weapons like the one used in Aurora, Colorado this past summer.
Weapons designed for the theater of war have no place in a movie theater.
A 10-round limit for magazines and universal background checks for every gun buyer. His call to all Americans: demand change.
Let's do the right thing for them and for this country that we love so much.
Now, the president also called on Americans to get their congressman on record. Here is exactly what he said.
Ask your member of Congress if they support universal background checks to keep guns out of the wrong hands. Ask them if they support renewing a ban on military-style assault weapons and high-capacity magazines.
And so I did just that. I called our senators, Mark Warner and Tim Kaine's offices, and haven't heard back from Warner yet. Kaine's office sent an email that said, in part, I have long advocated universal background checks, and I look forward to reviewing the details of the proposed limits on killer magazines and combat weapons. We should adopt reasonable restrictions. I also called our congressmen, Bobby Scott, Randy Forbes, Rob Whitman, and Scott Ridgel. Here's what I've heard back so far. Ridgel's office responded saying, the congressman is thoughtfully examining the president's proposal as well as other legislative options to achieve this and is actively seeking the wisdom of the district on this important topic. Mr. Whitman said that he will review the president's proposals and says that I have concerns about the president working around Congress and the legislative process. I also believe that we must strongly uphold the Constitution and Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens. And finally, I just received this minutes ago from Bobby Scott's office. He is the vice chair of the House Democratic Gun Violence Prevention Task Force. He applauded the president, also said that the task force all agree that we need a comprehensive approach to reduce and prevent gun violence. But as you'll notice, none of these gentlemen answered with the simple yes or no question we set forth. So it seems as though they may be swayed in their opinions. So if you have one, contact your congressman or senator. Stephanie Harris, 10 on your side.